Hello everyone. Today we are going to start another new topic of biology, that is nature of biology, which belongs to course 20517, that is additional pedagogy course, understanding disciplines and school subjects and pedagogy of school subject. Very firstly, we are going to see Introduction of biology. The science which deals with the study of living objects is called biology. Thus, the subject involves the studies of all kinds of microorganisms, plants and animals. Biology is related to mankind ever since the origin of man. Therefore, this branch of science stands first in order of studies as compared to other branches of science. Ever since the origin of life, man is eager to know about the various phenomena of life processes such as health and disease, birth, growth and death. However, man depends on plants and animals for food, shelter and clothing, which are immediate needs of life or human being, come from biology. Perhaps it was the elementary need of man to know about the living beings so the maximum benefits can be drawn out of them. Though biology involves study of life, but nowadays it is mostly centralized with the study of agriculture, animal husbandry, health, microbiology are the related branches of biology. Biology is the natural science that studies life and microorganisms, including their physical, structural, chemical compositions, functions, developmental stages, and evolution. Despite the complexity of the science, there are certain unifying concepts that consolidate it into a single coherent field. Biology recognizes the cell as the basic unit of life, genes as the basic unit of heredity, and evolution as the engine that propels the creation and extinction of species. Living organisms are open systems that survive by transforming energy and decreasing their local entropy to maintain a stable and vital condition defined as homeostasis. So this is all about the introduction of biology. Let's move towards meaning of biology. Biology is the science of life and study of natural processes of living things. It is the branch of science which deals with the cell, genes, microorganisms, plants, animals, and human body. Definition of biology. The word biology is derived from the Greek word that is bios, meaning life, and logos, meaning the study, and is defined as the science of living and living organisms. An organism is a living entity consists of one cell, example bacteria, or several cells, example animals, plants and fungi. So as we all know, biology is a natural science concerned with the study of life and living organism, including their structural, functional growth, evolution, distribution, identification, taxonomy, anatomy, physiology, etc. Biology literally means the study of life. Biology is such a broad field covering the minute working of chemical machines inside our cells to broad-scale concept of ecosystem and global climate change, biodiversity, global warming. Biologists study intimate detail of the human brain, the composition of our genes or DNA complications, or replication or replica of DNA, even the functioning of our reproductive system or system of respiration or photosynthesis, etc. Humans' exploratory activities have resulted in the accumulation of vast source of knowledge called biology. In biology, we study about nature, which means entire universe. The knowledge is now organized in several disciplines for the convenience of study. This knowledge is based on inquiry, observation, logical extension, critical thinking, innovative ideas, and is testable by experiment or has logically convincing explanation. So this is all about the meaning and definition of biology. Let's see the objectives of teaching biology at secondary and higher secondary level. The objective of teaching science or biology at various levels are suggested by the Indian Education Commission 1964-1966, that is Kothari Commission. So objectives of teaching biology: development of process skill like observation, classification, communication, measurement, estimation and prediction; acquisition and understanding of knowledge; development of skills for problem solving and ability to think logically as well as to draw conclusion on the basis of experiment; development of the ability to reach generalization and to apply them for solving life problems; fostering creativity leading to innovation in science. Objectives at secondary stage. At this stage, science as a discipline of the mind and preparation of higher education. At this stage, science should be taught as a discipline of the mind and preparation of higher education. At the lower secondary classes, physics, chemistry, biology and earth sciences should be taught as compulsory subject, developing the ability to reach generalization and to apply them for solving everyday problem; developing interest in scientific hobbies; inspiring children by story about scientists and their discoveries. Objectives at higher secondary level: to familiarize the people with the world in which he or she lives, or to make him or her understand the impact of science on society, to enable to adjust himself or herself to his or her environment, to enable him or her to develop scientific attitude, scientific temper, critical thinking, innovative ideas, etc. So these were the objectives of teaching biology at secondary and higher secondary level. Let's see the aims and objectives of biology for learner. Know the facts and principles of science and its application consistent with the stage of cognitive development. Acquire the skills and understand the method of processes that lead to generation and validation of scientific knowledge. Develop historical and developmental perspectives of science and to enable to view science as a continuing social enterprise. Relate science education to environment, natural environment, artifacts and people, local as well as global, and appreciate the issues at the interface of science, technology and society. Acquire the requisite theoretical knowledge and practical technological skill to enter the world of work. Nurture the natural curiosity, aesthetic sense and creativity in science and technology. Imbibe the values of honesty, integrity, cooperation, concern for life and preservation of environment, and cultivate scientific temper, objectivity, skepticism, critical thinking and freedom from fear and prejudice. One of the most important aims of education is help to students to become responsible democratic citizen of the country. The responsibility of biology teacher is not only to teach facts, principal processes of biological science, but also to facilitate students to discharge their social responsibilities and preserve democracy as well. They should appreciate how science and technology have developed and are affected by many diverse individuals, cultures and societies. They need to be encouraged to appreciate and participate in the responsible use of science, biological science, technology for the benefit of society, to visualize future of our nation and to become sensitive and responsible citizens. It is the most important to develop critical thinking in them and about interconnectivity of science, technology and society in order to maintain a healthy and sustainable society. Students should be encouraged to develop a scientific vision about different issues, about acquiring and processing information, about scientific and technological development or invention and their relevance to everyday life and long-term implication to society. Science education or biology education aims to make students develop scientific attitude so that in later life they can help society make rational choices when confronted with various possibilities and challenges. Biological science enhances the quality of our life, and it is visible in all walks of life, since biological science has been developed by people who are part of our group, society or country. So these are the aims and objectives of biology for learner, and how to implement or imbibe or inculcate in learning teachers' responsibilities for fulfill that objectives. It is the responsibility of the biological teacher to fulfill that aims and objectives in teaching learning process. Let's see the nature of biology. As we all know, biology has its different sub-branches and it is the very first source to provide us food, shelter. So as we all know, biology is the first source providing the very basic needs of our life. So it has the dynamic in nature and flexible in nature. Biology is dynamic and flexible in nature. The first and second principle indicate the process of science, while the third point indicates the product of science. Science is both a product or a body of knowledge that has been accumulated by scientists and the process in which they acquire this knowledge. The body of scientific knowledge can be classified into facts, concepts, generalization, theories and law. The process of science. The second dimension of science is the process by which knowledge is acquired. It is an attempt to define process of science. Let's see in detail. Biology as a body of knowledge. The body of scientific knowledge can be classified into science facts, concept, generalization, scientific laws and theories. They form structure of biology. First one is biological fact. Biological facts are the statement that indicates real description of an object, incident or occurrence. Facts is the answer of what is it. Facts are useful for taking decisions but not useful for drawing conclusion. For example, cockroach blood is colorless. Second one is biological concept. These are the categories that are formed and based upon those characteristics and attributes which are essential to a particular classification. For example, the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism, which is typical, microscopic and consists of cytoplasm and a nucleus enclosed in a membrane. Next one is generalization. It is the meaningful conclusion regarding the biological facts. For example, all plants are green. Last one is biological laws. It is a factual statement of what always happen in certain circumstances. It is a broad generalization. Example, independent assertion law. Let's see biology as a process. Biological processes are the process vital for a living organism to live. Biological processes made of many chemical reactions or other event that results in chemical transformation. For example, metabolism, homeostasis. Regulation of biological processes occurs when any process is modulated in its frequency, rate of extent. Biological processes are regulated by many means. For example, control of gene expression, protein modification or interaction with a protein or substrate molecules. Physiological processes, those processes specifically pertinent to the functioning of integrated living unit, cell, tissue, organs, limbs and organism. Reproduction, digestion, response to stimuli. What is the response of stimuli? A change in its state or activity of a cell or an organism as a result of a stimulus. Interaction between organisms means the process by which an organism has an observable effect on another organism of the same or different species. Cell growth, cell differentiation, fermentation, fertilization, germination, tropism, hybridization, metamorphosis, morphogenesis, photosynthesis and transpiration. So these are the principles of biology. Let's see the scope of biology. Biology has a lot of scope in future. People doing biology have a lot of avenues open for them. Lucrative options such as MBBS and biotechnology are open to them. Teaching and research are also some of the options open after pursuing biology. Apart from these, people pursuing biology can also get various laboratory jobs. So what are the scopes of biology? Provides variety of career opportunity in the field of medical, in the field of pharmacy, in the field of agriculture, in the field of microbiology, ethics. Basic of all applied of biological science aspects. Provide answer to the curiosity to the living world. Bring about the improvement in the skills of observation and analysis by doing experiments relating to that experiment in day-to-day life. So one can improve their skills of observation and skills of analysis, skills of experimentation, education with entertainment, zoo, national park, etc. Biology gives a student life experiences in form of zoo, national parks, bird sanctuaries, etc. Knowledge on the significant contribution made by eminent scientists. Different types of invention or invented things. Scientists who gave their valuable contribution in the field of science, who are interested to invent or discover or research on anything, they can follow the steps of the eminent scientists. So this significant knowledge reached to the student because of biology. Knowledge on the improvement and welfare of domestic animals. Awareness about environmental protection. Save environment, save earth, global warming, save water. These awareness can be created through biology. Knowledge on the control of disease that affects the living organism. Because of biology, one can acquire the knowledge or information about different diseases, about different microorganisms, about the health, about the cleanliness, etc. Development of useful habits like nature club, bird watching, etc. Basis for all applied aspects of biological sciences. Paves way for new discoveries and invention. Let us see the acquisition of knowledge and understanding. An important trait of human is to wonder, observe and interact with the surrounding and look for the meaningful patterns and relation by making and using new tools and build a conceptual model to understand this universe. These humans endeavor has led to modern science which look thousands of years get crystallized. So one can say that science leads to the biological science leads to the generation of ideas, helping to make sense of observed facts and get accepted if they fit observation. But maybe it is important for children to acquire knowledge of biological science through content, that is concept of underlying principles, as they provide a sound base to explore the unknown and build further knowledge. Yet these cannot be passed to children directly. In addition, their understanding cannot be developed by rote learning. It can be done by providing children relevant and age appropriate learning opportunities that allow them to undergo experiential learning through exploration and interaction with their environment and construct their knowledge. Creation of knowledge is crucial. Children's learning, their previous experiences are very important for it, as the experiences lead them to develop new ideas. Teachers need to collect such experiences for children to build further knowledge on their previous knowledge. For this, they may engage the children meaningful discussion through questioning and listening. Even children's drawings, concept map, drawing the figures also serves a good tool to acquire such information. So let's see the development of skill. Science is about asking questions and finding answer to them through scientific method and inquiry and experiments. These processes that scientists use in it are science process skills. Science is an important to young people for not only to acquire knowledge, the knowledge associated with it, but also to imbibe its inquiry and processes. These skills enable them to develop into adults who are able to take informed and responsible action while engaging and reflecting upon different ideas, opinions, beliefs, and values. They are long lasting, thus tend to be useful throughout each area of our lives. These skills involve the use of all sense organ, providing hands-on experiences for enjoyable and effective learning. Doing experiment requires certain skills which are called laboratory skills. In order to do experiment, students have to handle apparatus carefully, set up the apparatus to perform the experiment, and make correct observations. These are the skills which come under laboratory skills. Some simple apparatus can be prepared by the students, which also require some skills. When they do experiment in laboratory, they have to move up with other students cooperatively, sharing the responsibility. This develops feeling in the student. This is called general skill. They also need to develop drawing skills, for example figures, for example concept map, food chain, etc. This develop feeling in the students. These skills are necessary for the student to develop when they study biology. All these basic skills are important individually as well as when they are integrated. Next one is development of problem solving skill. Development of problem solving skills. Problem solving means that an individual has learned the skills and acquired relevant information necessary to solve problem. They are not curricular but also related to our everyday life. Various skills required for problem solving can be enhanced by providing opportunities to students to ask questions, think aloud, look for alternative explanation and procedures, isolates and control variables, keep record, apply reasoning and analogy, make models and apply process skills. In teaching learning of biological science, student can express such potentiality while working on the problem. They feel a sense of achievement or getting success and develop self-confidence. In order to provide opportunity of problem solving, teacher must need to inculcate the following abilities among the learners: flexible and divergent thinking, decision making and generating, self-confidence, accepting, rejecting hypotheses, correlating between various quantities and phenomena, checking the validity of result, expressing the task in terms of goals, searching for innovative practices, creating new challenges for life, developing positive and cooperative attitude. To solve problem in biological science, student must acquire what cognitive psychologists call declarative knowledge, which consists of the body of knowledge and facts needed to work in science. Simply acquiring knowledge of science is not sufficient. One must organize this knowledge in such a way that can be retrieved easily to solve problems. Simultaneously with acquiring and organizing declarative knowledge, one must also acquire knowledge of procedure, which are procedures and heuristic that can be applied to solve problem. Next one is nurturing aesthetic sense. Aesthetic deal with the creation and appreciation of beauty that gives us happiness. Harmony, order and pattern are some of the criteria which define beauty. A learner of science is also concerned with them. She or he get motivated to see some pattern in the properties of substances and other things in her or his surroundings. He or she appreciate her or his creation and derives joy when find that a particular toy or a gadget works on same scientific principle that she has already learned. For nurturing aesthetic sense through science teaching learning, the learner may encourage student to consider the following step: Observe keenly while doing any work, for example, observing the flower while walking in the garden. One can appreciate their color and wonders why the flower is of a particular color. Observe, analyze, and reject what is not scientific. One should be conscious of one's inner being, learn to be generous. One should develop the sense of sacrifice and self-righteousness. Development of thinking abilities. In science, critical thinking, logical thinking increases science learning potential. It requires deliberate review of the way in which activities are carried out. The ideas emerges that the way these can be improved. It is the ability to analyze information and experiences in an objective manner. Reflecting on the process of thinking does not come readily to young children as it involves abstract thinking as well. Teachers can facilitate by engaging the children in discussion through activities. The process of linkage of past experiences in terms of cause and effect relationship on a model of set rules, that is thinking with reasoning, is known as logical thinking. Children should be helped reason out consistently before arriving at conclusions. Scientific temper is the refined logical thinking. Next one is nurturing curiosity. Thus the curiosity led to the question in her or his mind, like why, what, and how. When student asks such questions, the teacher should not discourage them. She or he should facilitate them to find the answer using scientific principle. Science is nothing but all that happens around us. Students come across many questions out of curiosity. Curiosity leads to inculcation of learning to learn aspects of education. Curiosity can be generated in the learners by taking them to science centers, providing opportunities to work on science projects and to read scientific literature, facilitating interaction with person having scientific attitude, encouraging to participate in science exhibition and science quiz. At extra science activities can be designed to encompass several factors making up curiosity. Curiosity gets aroused as a result of doubt, contradictions, cognitive conflict, ambiguity, lack of clarity, etc. A teacher needs to create suitable learning situation for this. Next one is nurturing creativity. Creative thinking is a novel or innovative way of seeing or doing things. Creative thinking enables a learner to explore available alternatives and consequences of action or non-action and contribute to decision making and problem solving. Creativity has defined in different ways. It is the production of relevant and novel product and process. Also, it involves classification and assessment of different components of the problem, of delineation, manipulation, and linkage of ideas in a novel manner to solve a problem, or to deal with an idea, or to confirm a conclusion. Creativity is doing or seeing the things differently. It cannot be taught but developed in children by using planned strategies and techniques. The teacher plays an important role for nurturing creativity in learners from pedagogical perspective of physical science, inquiry, and activity-oriented process-based teaching learning can facilitate in nurturing creativity. Therefore, the role of teacher should be assist student in developing models of inquiry and discovery, guide student in the use of multidisciplinary approach, recognize and appreciate creative ideas and product of students, provide rich variety of learning experiences to students, encourage students to frame questions and browse variety of reading materials and express the student that their ideas have value. A creative child thinks differently, expresses unending curiosity and possesses divergent thinking ability. She or he wonders that what makes things work. She or he is always a keen observer who wonders over the outcome of an event or phenomenon and seek information. She or he has original, divergent, independent, fearless and critical thinking, and welcomes new ideas. She or he likes to ask thought-provoking questions rather than fact-seeking or memory-type questions. Teachers should identify these traits and provide a variety of learning experiences of inquiry and discovery of science to nurture creativity. Last one is development of scientific attitude. Scientific attitude is a composite of a number of mental processes or tendencies to react consistently in certain ways to a novel problematic situations. This includes accuracy, intellectual honesty, open-mindedness, respect for evidence, suspended judgment, critical thinking, perseverance, and looking at true cause and effect relationship. Scientists, because of their thirst for knowledge, become perpetual learners. They are constantly curious and continually seeking knowledge by inquiring. This in turn nurtures the trait of scientific attitude. Students who study science and curious, so students of biology are also curious. They are also open-minded to hear anything from anybody. They receive information and come to a conclusion or judgment only based on facts and evidences. At the same time, they are ready to test and verify their judgment. This makes them believe nothing is final in biology. They are truthful in doing experiments, making observation, recording, reporting, etc. They also have faith in cause and effect relationship. The student of biology possesses all these qualities and also develop these qualities while studying biology. These qualities are called as scientific attitude. Scientific attitude can be nurtured over a period of time through the process relevant learning situation that require creating an open classroom environment, encouraging children to perform activities and experiment, and reading scientific literature, freely interacting with their surroundings and asking questions. A science teacher needs to provide children experiences of a number of scientific activities as base of thorough understanding of science and developing scientific attitude and scientific temper. So these are the acquisition of knowledge and understanding for the teaching and learning process of biology. The American Association for the Advancements of Science, AAAS, asked scientists to say what they actually do. The following list of 13 processes came from the inquiry: observation of experiment, classification of animal kingdom or plant kingdom, number relations, measurement, space or time relation, communication, prediction, inference, making operational definition, formulating hypothesis, identifying and controlling variables, experimenting, etc. Representation of objectives of teaching learning biological science. Theme for teaching biology is general aims of teaching biological science, which we already discussed. Specific objectives of teaching biological science. Specific objectives for primary level, for secondary level, for higher secondary level, as per the need of the learner, as per the age appropriate, as per the understanding or maturity of the learner, as per the interest of learner, etc. Classroom instructional objectives. When in the process of teaching learning biology, a teacher should pre-decide the classroom instructional objectives for the successful teaching learning process. Place of biology in curriculum. National Policy on Education 1992 stated that every effort will be made to extend science education to the vast number who have remained outside the pale of formal education. According to Kothari Commission in 1964-66, science and mathematics should be taught on a compulsory basis to all pupils during first 10 years of schooling. Importance of correlation. Correlation helps integration of knowledge. It prevents a narrow thinking delimited to a subject alone. It promotes natural learning by a student. It facilitates comprehension of knowledge. It brings homogeneity in curriculum. It brings all-round development in students. It helps in memorization. It promotes meaningful and effective teaching. So biology has the correlation with health. Human morphology, anatomy and physiology are basically similar to those of vertebrate. Therefore, basic knowledge of human anatomy and physiology can be acquired by studying morphology and physiology. Correlation of biology with health, disease, agriculture, horticulture, food, animal breeding, entertainment, chemistry, geography, physics, mathematics and statistics, relation with sociology, history, languages, environment, etc. These are some sub-branches of biology, which is applied biology, zoology, macrobiology, bioprocesses, bioenergy, bioremediation, biotechnology, environmental sciences, botany. Importance of studying biology. Study of biology helps us to understand how our body works or function when we are healthy or diseased, to understand our environment and use the natural resources well sustainably, for example forest, water and soil, and avoid pollution, to make career choices, for example medicine, agriculture, veterinary, dentistry, etc. They are based on biology knowledge. To promote international cooperation in solving pertinent and emerging problems such as HIV and AIDS, global warming and depletion of ozone layer. To appreciate harmful effects of drugs and substances abuse on our bodies. To understand ways of transmission and control of disease such as HIV and AIDS. To acquire and utilize scientific skills such as observation, identification and analysis to evaluate everyday life. To understand the developmental stages in human body, to understand the photosynthesis process, to understand the different body parts and their function, to understand the respiration process, to understand the reproductive process, to understand the pollination of flowers, etc. Let's see the need and significance of teaching biology. Biological science has been given due place in our school education program by being made as a compulsory subject. Not only in that, more and more emphasis now being paid over the scientific and technical education. By doing so, in fact, a right step has been taken to push our country forward and to enable us to compete with other progressive nations. It has necessitated to lay due emphasis on teaching of science right from primary stage. Realizing such need, Kothari Commission has very rightly remarked in their recommendation as follows. Science and mathematics should be taught on a compulsory basis to all pupils as a part of general education during the first 10 years of schooling, as we prior seen the objectives. First one is intellectual value. The study of biological science provides us the opportunity to developing our faculties of reasoning, imagination, memory, observation, concentration, analysis, originality and systematic thinking. Biological science gives us the insight which enable us to search the truth and the reality of nature around us. Biological science does not permit us to accept anything which we cannot prove by actual observation, reasoning and experimentation. The queries of all problems and phenomena can be satisfactorily answered only by the wisdom of science. Utilitarian value. Modern age is science age. We all see a network of scientific gadgets based on the latest scientific invention all around us. Science has revolutionized our way of living. Now our life depends on scientifically invented gadgets so much we cannot do anything without them. It is now imperative for everyone not only to understand science but to master it from all angles. According to Herbert Spencer, the knowledge gained through science is much more useful in guiding our life than gained through other sources. Next one is moral values. Some people believe the science is responsible for lack of faith in God, but in reality the situation is reverse. Science does not permit blind faith. It also does not admit faith in idol worship, nor follows many useless customs and rituals. The search of truth on reality of nature and search of God are identical aims. Pursuit of knowledge of nature or study of science cannot be called contrary to religion and faithlessness. Science and its pursuit not only include all the traits of morality but also develop them. The qualities of honesty, of purpose, truth, justice, punctuality, determination, patience, self-control, self-respect, self-confidence, and tolerance are automatically developed in man if he or she follows scientific method in his or her pursuit of knowledge. In science, every conclusion depends upon test and actual observation and not by cheat. Another one is aesthetic value. Science is beauty, art, a source of entertainment and successful means of attaining physical comforts. Even the study of science is a source of great pleasure when one gets answer to his question about the mysteries of nature. Science helps us to utilize our leisure purposefully. Cultural value. From this immemorial, man has been trying to maintain and preserve their ways of life standard through the use of science. But somehow our ways of life has been changing without the passage of time and progress of science. This change in our lifestyle is due to invention of science. The development of culture is the history of science. We can judge the progress of civilization and culture of a nation by its progress in science. Science not only develops our culture but also helps in preserving it. Another one is creative value. Different types of creative thinking or creative analysis, generating new ideas and invention is creative value. Vocational value. Science has opened vast vistas of vocation. Because scientific principle and invention have become too universal and pervasive in our daily life, scientific invention have now helped widely all the traditional vocation nowadays like agriculture, poultry, farming and dairy farming. Science has also revolutionized modern vocation like telephone, radio and television broadcasting, etc. So these are the need and significance of teaching biology. Let us see the values of teaching biological science. Teaching science inventively involves value message. For instance, in the management of the curriculum, example, science can be presented as physics, chemistry and biology, rural science or domestic science or environmental science, each of these involving different value judgment and the particular selection of knowledge which is included in the curriculum. For example, breathing and circulation of conventionally taught in a biology program in such a way as to emphasize anatomy and physiology related to the preparatory needs of the future medical students. In many parts of the world today, there is a concern about the role of science education may play in establishing a sense of personal and social identity for a student. Implicit in this concern is the recognition of the powerful social, economic and cultural impact of contemporary science worldwide. The importance of the process, ideas and product of science to individual citizen irrespective of their particular role and status in society, and the urgent need to harness science in human welfare. So this is all about values of teaching biological science. So in this way, today we have completed our topic, that is nature of biology. So thank you one and all.